Alright, here we go. Gnasty's loot. This is going to be the last tutorial in my 120% series, but you're noticing we're actually in Gnasty's homeworld right now. Normally I do an entire homeworld video discussing the movement here, but this homeworld is literally 2 cubic feet big, so I don't think it's necessary to do a whole video devoted to this homeworld, but I will talk about this dragon, which if you do credit skip, you're noticing I'm coming from the game over after doing credit skip in Gnasty Gnorc. If you do credit skip, the proper place to touch this dragon is on the front here. Notice how Spyro walked, you know, towards the front of this dragon. If you don't do credit skip, you have to touch this dragon on the back side, back over here. So that's the only thing to keep in mind. The rest of the cleanup for this homeworld, you can clean up the boxes earlier or later, then go through Cove and then clean up each thing one by one. I'm going to have links to a route viewer that you can see the different routes that you would take given the credit skip strats you decide to use. But overall, the only thing you really need to remember here is that if you do credit skip, the dragon's on the front and not on the back. But that's about it. And besides that, I'm leaving these 3 little boxes right here and cleaning up the rest of the gems accordingly, getting everything... I mean, the route's pretty straightforward. Oh, the last thing I want to say, actually, a little nuance, since we're going real deep with this stuff, is you can... I think the fastest way to collect these gems is to actually collect the 3 gems on the left and then jump charge into the one on the right. That way, Sparks doesn't take time to grab that last one when he's already going to be... focusing on the other gems, and that means that the loot head will open slightly quicker, though it is kind of funky movement to kind of go off to the left. You can see I kind of tried to go for that jump charge, but I missed it. I got a little too close to it, so I had to wait an extra little moment for the loot head to open. We're talking frames, not a huge deal, but yeah, that's the Gnasty Gnorc Nexus homeworld, it's called. So let's get into nasty loot here. Let's get into this nasty booty here. You know what I'm saying, guys? So in this level, you can see I can fly, right? And so that's like the cool little power-up you get from completing the game 100% and now going into the 120% level. You get this power-up where you can fly. But the caveat about it is you can only fly as high as the highest jump off the highest ledge you can jump off of in this level. Let me repeat that. You can only fly as high as the highest jump from the highest ledge in the level. So it's kind of a weird mechanic, and basically the higher you fly towards your max flying height, for example right here, this is the highest jump I could possibly do right now. I haven't gone to a higher ledge yet, so I'm pressing up against my max flying height right now, which actually slows Spyro down. So when you're trying to fly optimally in this level, you're trying to get as much of that height as possible, but then fly below it in order to fly quickly. For this second stair strat, I do fly high in order to catch that. Now with this guy right here, you can opt to flame him and go left like this, which Wally thinks is a little faster. I'm going with it. I like this strat, at least just for the double, the way it kind of works out like that. Even if you leave that thief just for like a smidge longer, if you kill that thief just a little later, say you missed the first flame, the key will actually be a little closer here. So there's a little bit of leniency with it that I like, but what a lot of people will also do is just kill this thief right here. Also, you can magic stairs up these stairs. You can kill this thief and then go right to left, counterclockwise around this this area instead of clockwise as I do. It's really not a huge time difference, probably less than a second either way. Now, you can see I can fly slightly higher now, and notice that I was not flying at my maximum flying height right there. See, that wasn't like the full hop height. That's like we're doing a charge jump right there so we can fly a little quicker. Going for all the double chests here. Now, look, I missed this double chest.
That's annoying.
But you can see the cool recovery that I was going for there. Let me slow that down just a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. Even if you miss a double chest, like you do here, you can let it go down just a bit more. I glided just a bit too high there, but you can see you can do a nice little drop down glide flame out of the air and still get the box. In fact, it's a recovery that you could do even when you're not in a flying level. You can do a descending flame glide, it would be, against the top of a spring chest. So you would flop against the chest in any other level, but here you would end up being fine and continue your flying. Now here, you get a couple of options. So here you could do an old route that, not an old route, but you could do an alternate route that goes down to the left, collects those boxes, and then cleans up this area and brings it back this way, counterclockwise. But what is a little bit better, potentially, of a route is this, which is called the early firework route, which you can see here. I'm flying low, so that way when I crank up on the, I'm going to play this in slow-mo. When I crank up on the joystick here, down on the joystick in order to fly up, because inverted, controls. Then, before I get to the max height, I'm pressing L1. And when you hit max height using L1 and R1, those buttons in flying levels are supposed to make you do like a somersault, like loop-de-loop type of thing. But when you're already at your maximum flying height, like I am here, it makes Spyro do this weird sideways turn, which when you flame during this, it gets the flame just high enough to get beyond Spyro's height and hit the firework early. So really cool sort of exploitation of the mechanics there that allows for an early firework. Really neat stuff. Again, you do slow down when you hit that maximum gliding height, so you want to not be chilling at the max glide height for too long. You know, you want to optimize that. Now, I'm doing a fade back, full hop glide, and here, it doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about getting the quickest flame on this second box here. You might think like, well, why not flame both of those boxes at the same time, which is possible. But look at the fan that I explode here. In fact, I'm going to play this back. When I blow this fan up, it's facing straight towards this thief. So this fan is going to go off and hit the thief. So as long as you curve that last flame off into this fan chest, it's going to hit the thief. And look at the timing here. This is insane. I'm going to speed it up a little. Look at the timing. Boom. See how that key just goes perfectly? This right here, you can't grab it. It's intangible. But on this next frame, you can grab it. So you have a little bit of time with those fan chests in order to get the flames out and just curve it off with the last flame for the second box. You don't have to be as optimal with them as you might think. You can totally flame charge these boxes as well. And now, because I didn't do the counterclockwise strat I was mentioning earlier, I have to go wide here. Again, not flying at my max glide height. Speed it up a bit. Careful with these boxes. These boxes are easy to miss. You're going to be at the end of the run. You're going to be in a hurry. Do not cut these boxes too hard. A thing I want to mention about them is that the ground angles upward as you're moving towards them. You can see how they're kind of on a little bit of a slant there. That will push Spyro down when you're turning. So that's part of the reason why it's easy to miss those boxes. Now here is a really interesting strat. I don't go for it fully here. You can see yes, I do actually. Almost. Look at that. So, okay, so let's talk about what I tried to do there. So, I flame this guy, and I'm coming up this way, and I do what looks to be an accidental bonk against this door. But actually, that was a fully intentional bonk for a setup for a quick kill on the plane here. I'm going to play this in slow motion right here. Look at my input viewer. Circle the X really quickly when I hit the ground. Okay, and what that allows me to do is you can see some of my flame hitboxes are still active. You notice there's multiple little like fire hitboxes, and we want this top hitbox to hit the flame as it's coming out. During this cutscene right here that you're watching, you have no control over Spyro, so you have to do this flame early, very quickly, right before you open the door with X. So again, those inputs right there, we're bonking, and then flame X, circle X. And then if you're facing the right way, you could tell I'm facing a little bit too far to the left. If I'd have been facing a little bit more to the right, I would have got that.
Oh, wow. That almost hit him.
Now you can hear me say in the VOD that I almost hit him, which indeed I did. But if you don't hit him, that's all right, because let's take a look at where he is here. This is an important audio cue part, so make sure you have game volume at this part. You can see the plane a little bit back here. There's the plane. So you can see him. He's about to come around, but he's going to be off screen for us when we're collecting these gems. So what you got to do is, if you get up this part accurately, if you get up this part, you know, up the stairs without bonking, then you can basically wait here for just a moment. And the way I wait is I choose to fly up to the max glide height. So that way the game is slowing me down. You could also opt to just wait at the ledge there for like a second. And now look, the plane's going to come around from up top. And you can't really hear in this video here, but when I'm playing the game, I have the volume coming through my CRT speakers, and you can hear the stereo sort of surround sound of the plane coming around the back left side of your head. And then once you hear it cross over the left side to the right, that's when you can dive bomb for him. So no matter how far forward or backward he is, that's your audio cue, is he moves from left to right on the speakers. Now, if you hadn't have gotten the the early, what's it called, fucking explosion rocket, I don't know why that took me so long to figure out. The early rocket, if you hadn't gotten it before, this little rocket right here, then you'd get it here. You just go flame that real quick. But as you can see, I got it, so it saves me some time and movement. Now imagine if I'd have gotten the super quick first plane, that would save me even more time and movement there. I wouldn't even have to do that little surround sound strat. Grab a few of the gems here, but I don't grab all of them, so that way I can set up. My setup for this trick right here, this is the hard, quick second plane here. My setup here is to charge off the ledge. Okay, now bear hard against this corner here. Try not to flop, but push up against it, especially as you come around it. Anticipate the turn, because this is like kind of like a half moon shape right here. So as you come around this corner, really bear hard against the wall along this like little line you can see between the two texture colors here. You can just bear along this line, slightly below it. Bear along this line, take a look. See, I'm turning hard against this wall. But I'm not all the way against it, because around the halfway point of this room, about where this sort of area is, that's when you want to turn in. Right before the halfway point, you're turning in. And then now what you've done is the plane that would be up here, up top, is now thinking that you've approached it from behind, essentially, causing him to come down, dive bomb this way. Whereas if you don't do this careful movement, he will either go down early this way, or if you're too late, he'll turn around the other way and go the other way. So this is very precise movement, and we're basically just trying to manipulate his range that he can see us, essentially. Well, we're not manipulating the range, but we're manipulating his like little aggro, his sphere of influence. And if I'm anywhere in this area, he's going to see me. Or if I'm anywhere, let's pop up just a little bit. I'll show you some of the areas that you don't want to be. Glide. And again, I charge off here. Bear against the wall. If you're anywhere in this area, he's going to see you, basically. So you got to keep it along the wall until, like I said, until halfway through. You see that middle crack right here, and that's when you crank it, even right before that, because you have to kind of pre-turn it in order to be turning harder than the turn curvature of the room. So you're sort of pre-turning right before that crack there, keeping the height level. And then once you get to about this part, you have to preemptively, notice I'm preemptively flaming here. I don't even see him yet, but that's how quickly he comes. Let me go slow-mo here. Look how quickly he just comes out of nowhere, and boom. You do not have time to react to him. You have to preemptively flame him. Depending on how it ends up being for you. A lot of people kind of develop their own sort of setup with that, but that's how I do it. I get really close up there and get a preemptive flame on him, and that allows me to do no bonk turn around here. Some people will get like even further, will stay lower for longer here. And so they'll kind of hit the plane further in this little tunnel spot here, like where this orange is, and they'll bonk off of that and turn around. But you don't have to be that low. If you go lower and bear against the wall for longer, then you'll delay him for longer, essentially. But you're playing a dangerous game of chicken with him in that case, because if you go up too late, then he'll turn around the other way. He won't even come down. So that's the second plane right there. Really, you can tell it's very precise, that second plane. A lot of trouble with that. Just a quick aside about these key doors here. This key door right here, well, with all of the key doors in this game, there's several. The same thing with a key chest. The optimal way to skip them is to anticipate when the game takes away control from you. So like right here, the key's going up. The game takes away control, and you have to press X in order to skip this. So you have to sort of anticipate as you're charging up. If you're just charging, it's not going to do this. You have to let go of charge and then press X with the correct anticipation, because if you're charging up to it and you let go, sometimes the game takes like that little extra moment before it takes away control and you can press X. So I would say try not to be too quick with this, is my point. If you just let go of charge and press X as quickly as possible, you're not going to get the cutscene skip optimally, which I don't think I did here.
You guys to know that no matter
what the fuck? Can you hear this? Oh, this is, hold on, let me speed this back up.
What happens, y'all?
Listen to this. Listen to this. I don't know if you can hear it.
Okay. We'll see what happens, y'all. I want you guys to know that no matter what happens here, I love you.
So in case you couldn't hear, I said, no matter what happens here, I love you. Or in other words, like at the end of the game, no matter what happens, whatever the time is, I'm going to be okay, and everything's going to be okay. And that's a hard thing. You have to remind yourself that when you're on like a hot run and you've been grinding out a speed run for a long time, you're in the end game. Anything, even though I did all the hard tricks, at this point, anything can still go wrong. These little
beat record or whatever.
These little fireworks right here, I could fuck up. I could easily miss those. You have to fully flame into the ground with fireworks in this game, by the way. Some of them have the active hitbox up on the red part, but really you want to aim down towards... Let me see if I could show you clearly. You want to aim down towards the bottom of these fireworks, kind of where the wick is where you want to aim, rather than the red part, which is kind of deceiving. And also, the floor eats your flame if you go too low, so you have to be kind of careful. Some people will even go full will just charge out of the air here, just to be fully on the ground before they flame.
I love you.
But I prefer to have a downward angled flame out of the air. Same thing with the fireworks in Terrace Village, rather than flaming them parallel from the ground. That way I know they're hitting that ground part of the hitbox. Cleaning up all these gems. These yellows right here, if you get lucky with the gem spread RNG here, then you can actually collect these in like a relatively straight zigzag, but most of the time they're going to make you do something where you have to do like a little bit of a U-turn and then turn it around. Let's see what I do here. Yeah, I went for like a little U-turn strat. You got to make that call. Like, think of how much time I have to think about that, like little mini route. I have here to think about. I'm already like on top of them, you know? So it's like, all right, you know, I didn't get that quick gem on the left, so you got to turn around for it. Costing you like half a second right there to a second. Now, this first part of the room here, people, you can be ballsier here than you might think. I have, even with blue sparks, you come in here and you just bear as hard right on the wall as possible. These gems, if you miss any of these gems here, which usually if you bear hard right on the wall, you'll miss these two because sparks will be preoccupied by the other ones. Bear as hard right on the wall here as possible. The movement is more important when you first enter this area. And getting to those fireworks chests as quickly as possible is what you're trying to do. I like to aim for this one and then run into the next one with invincibility. There's a couple of different options you could take. You can run into this one as well as some of the other ones later in here. But I'm pretty sure that running into this one and then the far one over here with invincibility is the fastest one. Fastest way to do it. And then this way, you can trail around the outer perimeter. You can see I'm doing an out-to-in sort of thing here. Getting all the gems from the outside, and then by the time you do a full 360 around, then you should just have a small cleanup here in the middle. And, you know, you can see it wasn't the super cleanest. It wasn't bad. You know, I did have to walk a little bit. This is definitely a section where you're, like, doing some periodic walks, you know. And then, so those two gems here, no problem. So good thing I was like pushing my movement there. I saved a good second from not worrying about those gems at the start of the room there. And the last thing is entering the return home portal here. This is the only return home portal in the game in this category where you should not full hop into it, because other levels, the fade out, the load for the next area is determined by how quickly you get to the top of the return home portal, basically. But with this level, the fade out is on a timer from the moment that you hit the little levitation stars. So you want to point being is you want to charge jump into this, but full hop into every other one, preserving your upward momentum. And that is it. You can see it just fades to black right there, and that's on a timer. So, and there you go. That's it. 121.52. Beautiful PB. And here's the pop-off just to boot. Let me let me move my camera just so you can see. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this already, but just to get just to give you guys perspective on what it feels like to get a world record after 8 years of trying. Yeah, it feels amazing. So to any of you guys curious about this game, learning this game, running this game, I just want to say thank you. Even if you don't plan on playing this fucking game at all and you're just watching just to hear a crazy homeless Jesus guy looking dude talk about his favorite video game as a kid, thank you for watching this video, and thank you for watching this tutorial series. I know these videos don't necessarily get like the most views or attention on my channel, but I think they're really important just for people who are curious about this game. I hope after watching at least this video or some of the other ones that you're curious maybe about learning this game. It's so easy to download this game on an emulator, or if you have an old PlayStation 2, boot this damn thing up. You can even get a free McBoot memory card. Okay, that's a thing. You can just buy that for like 10 bucks on Amazon and just pop the game into your PS2 that way without even having to buy a disc. So there's more ways now than ever to play Spyro. And I hope for some of you guys that are watching right now that you're a little inspired maybe after watching these tutorials. And if nothing else, I hope I at least helped and was entertaining to some of you guys out there. And thank you once again for watching this Spyro 120% tutorial series. There must be hours of faded, you know, nonsensical rants in here that just go over the tiniest nuances that I've developed over 8 years of playing this game. But hopefully it wasn't for nothing, and hopefully I helped you out, and hopefully I at least put a smile on your face to some degree. So with that, I want you to know that you put a smile on my face, and I will love you forever till the end of time. And I'll catch you in the next one, guys. We're going to keep making videos. I'm going to keep grinding this category, y'all. Well, let me tell you right now, 121.52, that's not my last PB in this game. So to that, I say fucking cheers, chuggers into chat, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.